Welcome back, everyone, to Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2024. Last time we went through the first half of the non-conference portion of the first season and went 5-1, which is not bad. But the one loss that we had was a terrible loss. So we're hoping to continue with winning, obviously. But our first game here against Temple, we're actually the underdogs by a little bit, and they are also 5-1. So, yeah, we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to see and make sure our lineups are set how they're supposed to be set, and they pretty much are. You can see here we have Ford out with a broken nose, but for the most part, we have everyone else healthy. Actually, we do have everyone else healthy. So here we go. We're going to play against Temple here and see how things go. And we pick up a win. That's a really good win for us. Try to get back on track to that terrible loss in the last video. I still think, hoping that we can get back to being ranked pretty soon. 6-1 is still pretty good, even if your one loss is really bad. I'm curious about the Temple win we just had, actually, if that's probably it's a pretty good win. Probably a quad 2 win, I would say. Check the tourney watch and see what they rank it as of right now. No, it's the quad 3 actually. So maybe that doesn't help us as much as I thought it would. But we can see here our wins so far. And no games on this day. We can actually go and look at the box score. 95 points is a lot for a college game. Allen had 24 points. Brooks had 34 points. And Watson had 14. Antonio Brooks is player of the game, averaging 20 points a game. Only a freshman, but wouldn't surprise me if he tries to go pro at the end of the season. Hope he doesn't, but wouldn't surprise me if he did. Louisville having a pretty good season. North Carolina having a good season. You can see aren't a lot of undefeated teams left, doesn't look like. Even Villanova's number 1, they have a loss. Georgetown's undefeated. Ohio State's undefeated. Middle Tennessee, man, is ranked 19th. Arkansas kills UC Wilmington. You can see, man, Missouri's only played 3 games so far. That's a little bit odd. Okay. No games on this day either, so we'll keep moving along. Vandy is doing well. Baylor is undefeated. Tennessee is undefeated. Still some undefeated teams left. Next we play Princeton, and we have no injured players, so let's make sure things are set up here. Yeah, Ford is actually our sixth man when everything is as it should be with no injuries. Averages 5 points a game. So I feel pretty good about Princeton. They're 4-4. This is a home game for us, so I expect to win. We are an 18-point favorite, so yeah, I think I feel like we'll win this game. And we do. We win by 20 to go to 7-1. And I'm hoping that that means we're ranked. Again, Missouri loses a game, their fourth game, so they're 1-3. So they may be the one SEC team that's pretty bad. See the other ones here. Have mostly been pretty good teams. Go back and look at this game against Princeton. And Dion Allen had 22 points. Watson had 15. Davenport had 15. Brooks only had 6 points this time around, so not the best game for him, but still found a way to win. And he's Dion Allen here as a sophomore, so hopefully he stays as well. But also would surprise me if he tried to go play professionally at the end of the season. But yeah, that is probably not like a great win, but I mean I'm glad we won. 7-1 now. Probably no quad one wins. We can check. Actually, after this day, I should have checked with that win. I'll try to remember to do that after each game. Check the tourney watch and see what kind of quad the game we just played fits into. Mississippi State having a pretty good season so far. A little bit worried about SEC play because we could see Arkansas, Tennessee, Vandy, LSU. Florida is good, even though they're not ranked. So I'm a little worried about SEC play. Wait a minute. Why did that? Okay. So yeah, just making sure I'm on the current day. I don't know why I clicked to go back a day. Okay, here we are, but I wanted to click the tourney watch to see where the Princeton game fits in. It's just a quad 4 win, so that doesn't help us that much. So yeah, I'm still looking for at least we're winning most of these games. Should be able to see if we're ranked after this day of games here. Oklahoma is 10-0. Man, Tennessee looks to be really good. Hey, we're back to being ranked. We're ranked 23rd. So after 2 weeks, I think, of being unranked, we're back at it. And no games on this day, so we'll keep moving along here. games on this day. So we'll keep moving along. Florida is ranked 25th now. So we can see the top 5 SEC schools are all in the top 25. LSU's also really good, 7-2. Mississippi State's 5-1. So things may get a little rough once we get to SEC play. And hell, here we have the Louisville game at Louisville. So I don't know how this game will work out. Louisville is definitely the favorite here. Man, I do want to check out and see. Scroll all the way down to Louisville. Well, they're third in assists per game in the country, so they're pretty good at that. Everything else, what's crazy is Missouri's the best three-point shooting team in the league. They're the worst SEC team so far, so that's kind of crazy. But we can see where they rank on some of this stuff here. I think if we win here, this is definitely a quad one win, but I kind of expect to lose, being honest. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's play. Florida lose. Oh man, we got we got toasted. Kind of expected it. Thing is, if it's a quad one loss, it doesn't hurt us that bad. Man, Tennessee's still killing it. This game, I think, definitely has, and actually, I just mentioned this in the pro basketball video I posted yesterday on that side of things, but this game definitely has the home court advantage built into the engine. Which it should. I mean, that is a real thing, home court advantage. But it's definitely present. Okay, I actually want to go back and look and see stats for that game and see why we lost so badly. We didn't shoot very well. We actually didn't do bad on turnovers. We were out rebounded for sure. We also fouled them 20 times, which is pretty quite a bit. They took 26 free throws. We took 9 free throws. So I don't know if that's like the refs playing into home court advantage for something. We definitely did not draw the fouls like they did. And yeah, that's actually a big part of the game, I think. We went 5 of 9 from the free throw line. They went 19 of 26 from the free throw line. So, mm, yeah, they just made more shots. It's quite simply what it came down to, and had more rebounds. But it always strikes me uh, when a team has more rebounds but less shots. I don't know how that comes out, but that does actually happen more often than you would think. And they didn't turn the ball over a lot more than we did just a couple of times. So we can see, actually, those are Florida stats. Looks like Brooks had 18 in that loss. Allen had 13. So I guess we'll continue to move along, but maybe before the next big game, try to figure out a way to improve on our rebounding and maybe draw more fouls. Seem to be the two things that we need to work on. Actually, should have checked. I'll click the tourney watch right here when this day is over and see. I expect that to be a quad one game. Oh, I'm still on. I'm still on Louisville. Here we go. Yeah. So that was our first quad one game, and we lost. But most of these still, this still is an okay resume. So at least we have no losses here. So do we have a quad two win, which helps a little bit. No games on this day. I'm expecting to struggle a little, as I mentioned, especially when we hit, and Florida got beat twice this week. We hit SEC play, but I think next season will be a better season than this first season. We're kind of, you're dealt the hand you're dealt in the first season, and we were dealt an okay hand, but I actually expected to be dealt a slightly better hand being Kentucky. But it is what it is. We have the second best recruiting class in the country coming in next season, so that should help things out. And hopefully, we have some players stay. Hopefully, either Allen or Brooks stays. And we're right back to being unranked. So so was Florida. They lost a couple of games. As we mentioned earlier, Boston College is next, and I feel pretty good about this. It's a home game for us. We have no injuries. They are 3-4, so I expect to win. I'm not going to really put too much worry into this. And let's go ahead and play this day. And we win by 15. Probably quad 3 game, maybe even quad 4. They're not very good, honestly. Vandy got beat, actually. See, Mac Bush was player of the game with 14. Brooks had 11. Most of this was a bench game. Calhoun with 15 off the bench. Normally he just averages around 6 points a game. Ford with 11 off the bench. Also averages 6 points a game. So that was kind of a big game for these two players. And Mac Bush, who, pretty good game. No one really had an outstanding game, but we did have 4 players finish in double digits. And we come away with the win. And yeah, that's another quad 4 game. So we're definitely 6 quad 4 games, but thankfully we won all of them. Villanova still #1. Ohio State still undefeated. I feel like we'll be a tournament team. Um, Maybe like an 8 or 9 seed. And no games on this day, so we'll keep. Wow, Stetson beats Mississippi State. Stetson was terrible. Siena beats St. Mary's. And no games on this day, so we'll keep moving along. We now have Tennessee at 10-0, undefeated still. Arkansas 11-1. Probably, definitely the top 2 SEC schools in this season. Missouri now actually playing some games is not doing well. Harvard beats Georgia. Man, Mississippi State is losing some bad games this week. 2 bad losses. Yeah, did we just have one game this week? We just had one game this entire week. And we're still unranked. And we can see SEC play will start very soon. We have Tennessee and Florida, our first two opponents, which are both pretty good opponents. Maybe we can win one of those and actually have our first quad one win. Oh, and we can see now, I guess conference play has started because those records, which were piling up wins and losses, are now back to 0-0 on the side. If you notice, look on the right over here, when the games are being simulated. George Washington here, I mean, I feel like this would be a walk in the park. I wish every blowout win was an 18-point favorite. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. I don't know if that's a glitch or just um, the way the game is built, but I feel like those favorites need to be dispersed a little better. But we play George Washington here, and let's go ahead. Oh my gosh. Well, that's another awful loss. That's like a quad 4 loss. Now I'm really worried about SEC play. Sheesh, man. Yeah, I knew that would be a quad 4 loss. North Carolina A&T is actually apparently not terrible. That has moved into a quad 2 loss, which helps us out. But this loss is just downright awful. I don't know how that happened. Probably should go back and look and see why we lost so badly. Go back a couple of days. Yeah, we are not a good free throw shooting team. Once again, I think it just came down to poor defense. They shot 52% from the field, 50% from three, and they just shot better than we did. They shot more shots from the line, made more shots from the line. So that's kind of what it came down to. Man. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the last non-conference game of season one. And if that's the case, then it's just a matter of getting to that first game in conference play, which I think, I don't know exactly which team it will be, it'll tell us when we get back to the game screen here. It'll be either Tennessee or Florida. And I really want to try to make sure we'll look at the strategy and see if we can change anything. It's Tennessee actually, so yeah, we definitely want to look look at the strategy and see if we can change anything to give us the best possible outcome there. Because I expect that game to be a loss probably, regardless. It's also at Tennessee, so it's not a home game for us. So I don't know there's much we can do, but we'll look into it when we get there. Okay, we're at the Tennessee game. Man, I'm trying to check the email here. Looks like A&M is coming up pretty quickly. Also Missouri, which I don't really worry too much about the Missouri game. The Tennessee game I am worried about. And we've dropped in the net quite a bit, as we can see. 128 in the net is not really where you want to be if you want to be a tournament team. But let's check out Tennessee and see. They are actually a pretty poor three-point shooting team. Now, the strategy on this game is different than the strategy, well, we're still on Tennessee. It's different than the strategy on the pro basketball side of things. See, on the pro basketball version of these games, there are different types of set defense, and there's an attack man-to-man defense in which you can reduce the three-point shooting of your opponent. I don't know that you can't really do that on this one. You have man-to-man, you have zone. We can see that we play better in the man-to-man, most of our players. I mean, even if you compare, the 3-2 zone has a pretty good, what is FCM? Full court man-to-man. Okay. So we can see we play better. Definitely in a man-to-man setting. And we've been playing to favor outside shooting. I mean, I think these stats look pretty good. running this offensive set half the time, and we can see we're focusing on what we're strongest at. So we shouldn't be running Princeton or triangle or five out because our team is just not very good at it inefficiency. So um, yeah, these are what we should be running based on what our guys are good at. This is what we are practicing and running in practice. So I actually feel pretty good about how this looks. And we favor the outside because we've been shooting decent from outside. I don't know if that's still the case. Oh, yeah. We're definitely one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. So I'm actually going to bump this up to heavy outside. I may actually change this a little bit. Let's bump this down to like, can we do like 35? Well, I take that back. Let's do 40. 40, 30, 30. Hmm. How many three-point shots are we averaging per game? Because we should be taking a lot because we're shooting them well. Here, let's click let's look at stat totals. Actually, no, what we want is per game actually. Well, Allen's taking 5 threes a game. Brooks is taking 7.5 threes a game. But they shoot pretty good from three. I'm wondering where we compare against other schools on three-point attempts because I feel like we should be taking a lot of those. It bothers me a little bit that we're not running five out at least some of the time because why we're so inefficient here. I mean, we could move some of our practices to play that way. But if we're that good of a three-point shooting team, maybe it's just we have no big guys that can shoot threes. Might be what it is. But because most of these, the flex and the high post and the shuffle, if you read the descriptions, they all involve getting in the high post, getting inside. And that's primarily what we're running. but we're only doing that 50% of the time. So maybe the other 50% of the time we can do heavy outside, and it'll take a lot of threes. I don't I don't entirely understand the strategic side of things on this game. Maybe we should play 3-2 zone a little bit more. Yeah, we are at least practicing 3-2 zone some. Okay, well, honestly, I don't know what much more to do. If we're being honest, we play Tennessee in the next game, and that'll be it for this video. So if you like this video, then keep your eye out for the next one. And with that being said, see you next time.